Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Being at an event, a wedding, it's always a great time. You always have so much fun. Planning it, maybe not so much. And that's why you want to grab a professional like Alice Victoria Mbuyi, who is with us. She's with PassionEventsDesign.com. And this woman, Alice, you never stop. You're moving. You're on the road again. You're going someplace else. It's just you're an amazing person. You got so much going on, but you still have time to help people one-on-one. So I love it. How you doing today?
Hello, Steve. Thank you for having me, and I'm happy to be here. And thank you for the warm introduction.
It's great to have you back with us. And I know that when we do talk, we help people, giving them ideas of what they can do for their event and their wedding, whatever the event may be, because that's your specialty. There's one thing I want to, we didn't talk about this previously, and you had mentioned it before, so I want to jump into it. Floor wraps. Tell me about that. You can get customized floor wraps for an event?
Yes, Steve. You can have that for any events, whether it's wedding, birthday, or baby shower, and other social events. You can have that. So the idea of the dance floor wrap is just not to have just the floor, plain. So the things that I came up with was to customize it. Is to do like a design. Of course, you hire a professional that would do that, and then we'll give you the printout of it, and you install it on the floor, and it's beautiful because it's like the focal. It can be the focal point in a event space.
So this gets my mind going as I think about what you can do. Like, for example, I don't know if you remember, a year or so ago during COVID, when you would go somewhere, there were wraps on the floor. And sometimes it would be just a big circle that says, reminds people stand 6 feet apart, things like that. Not that exact thing, but that type of wrap is what you're talking about, where decals are on the floor, and it could say whatever you want. It could add to a theme, could be anything you want.
Yes. So when you book a venue that has maybe, let's say, a carpet throughout the floor, it's nice to incorporate a dance floor. But when you incorporate a dance floor, you just don't want to leave it plain. You want to put the decal on it, and just have something, writings, initials. If it's a wedding, it will be initial. If it's a let's say 40th birthday, just because before they used to leave them plain, and the room just look, it looks okay, but not very attractive. So those dance floor wrap just make a difference because it lights up the room. And of course, when you have it with the let's say the white background of the decal, it's just elegant. It's nice.
I love this idea. Yeah, because when you think about it, you've spent time, you've spent money about everything else, from the flowers to the decorations, the table, whatever it might be. But now you have this, call it the real estate, underneath you, where you can really set the tone and change things up. So how does the process work for this one particular idea? Do you reach out to a vendor and then get it done? And then do you, as the event planner, put it down, or you always have to bring somebody else in to just apply it to the floor? And of course, obviously it's removable after the event.
Yes. So, Steve, we are a one-stop shop. Not only that we design, we plan, we have party rentals, and soon to have the venue, to run the venue space for other people to have the events. So we just have to position ourselves to have almost everything that a client will want.
Wow.
So the floor wrap, the dance floor is something that clients want. So we are affiliated. We are connected to other vendors like huge party rentals. Those that have everything. So we we contact them and they will come to install the floors, and then we contact a designer. It can be a web designer or someone that do the customization. We contact them, and they will print out the decal, and then my team and I will be able to install them on the floor, because you don't want to install the decal just on the plain floor. So that's where we come in. So it's a teamwork.
I love it. Now I'm getting more ideas thanks to you. Couldn't you even put decals on windows? Because they cling, they remove. But can you imagine, Alice and Steve's big day or whatever it might be? And there's decals, classy though. I'm talking very classy looking. And they could even be clear and almost look like the glass is etched as somebody walks in. There's so much you can do, I guess.
Right. So much to do. Technology has just brought a lot of ideas.
Yeah. What now that could potentially be for a wedding. Well, let's go back a little bit. What about engagements? Do you do special events for that? Engagement parties?
Yes, we do events for engagement, and sometimes especially because they are surprise. So most of the time we have bride contact us to plan the wedding. It's interesting. It's interesting that for engagement we have future groom call us, and sometimes they need idea. What if my fiance would not love the ring? So we give ideas as, okay, why don't you take her for ring shopping? Just say that you want to try on some rings yourself, and then you tell the fiance, say, hey, oh, which one is nice, and among the three rings, there's one that she will probably love the most, and then he can surprise her with that. So those are just crazy ideas that we throw at them.
I love that. You do everything right from the beginning. I mean, I didn't even think of calling a wedding planner, event planner, for something like that, because so many guys struggle with it. Let me tell you, picking out the right word, and you want it to be a surprise too. That's another
Right.
thing. Can you imagine planning an event and telling your fiance that it's something else, and when she shows up, it's a big party for you guys as your engagement? I mean, that could be. And now you have photographers built in for that special moment. I have a friend who has a friend, and he's been doing it for years. He takes pictures of proposals, and he's pretty famous in the New York area for it. And people call upon him. Yeah, all right, I'm going to pop the question. It's going to be on a bridge. I got a horse-drawn carriage, and he comes out like the paparazzi and takes the pictures for him. So there's so many different things that you can do.
Right, right. And before there were not many requests for those. Those are rare.
Yeah.
But I think people are wanting to have, their moments, and so that's where we getting most of those requests too.
What about some advice for somebody, since we're getting into the season, it's warmer, for outdoor events? We want to do, let's say we want to do something outside. I guess you get a tent, like, have a backup plan. Any thoughts on that?
When you do that, try not to pick, the most days where we have hotter weather, because that will be uncomfortable for your guests. And sometimes people will say, oh, it's too hot, I can't come. So try to pick like a day. I would say June, the month of June or beginning of July, to pick a date in between. And if you are renting a tent, you can also rent those, it's like a AC, I forgot the correct name, but it gives air, like air conditioning, portable ones. You
Mhm.
can have them installed like on the four corners of the tent, so that your guests will be more comfortable, and yourself too, and you won't you are not going to sweat, under that makeup, especially the bride. So, that's one of the things I can advise, and and then also have a plan B just in case if there's heavy rain, and
That's a good point. I bet you a lot of people don't think that there are air conditioned tents. And as soon as you said that, I thought of that because of COVID and going to a restaurant. So there's outdoor seating, but it was in the summertime and there was air conditioning inside the tent. And it was enclosed, but there was an exchange of air. So, yeah, those are things that we don't, regular people like us, we don't think of. That's, that's top of your head. Oh, yeah, if you're going to do something in the summer, Alice knows there's air conditioning tents like that. I would have never thought about that. My first thought would be, okay, fans, and they're okay, but not like having something that's air conditioned. What about
Right.
weddings? Anything stand out in your mind? Anything you've gotten a recent request for that might surprise people that can be done?
Well, I mean, now it looks like most couples, they're thinking outside of the box. So, it's interesting because I know during COVID, most people were home or they didn't have the occasion to party much. But now we're getting requests like, the photo booth,
Mhm.
as we discussed before, has been a request. And it looks like people are interested in the photo booth, especially the 360, when you stay in the middle and you dance, and then it spins. So people are loving that. I thought maybe for the first couple of months, especially this year, we were going to have micro events, but people are going out of out of the box. Some people are doing 350 guests. I met with a couple 2 weeks ago. I mean, we were planning the event since last year, and the guest count was 300. And when I met with them 3 weeks ago, they said 350. I was like, I
Wow.
never thought people were ready for bigger event, but it's happening, Steve.
I guess everybody was held back for so long that it's now, "Brah, let's go. I want to have a party. I want to have a good time.
Yes,
The COVID that we
yes,
were kind of suppressed. And then slowly venues started opening up to 50 people. And that's that back, year and a half ago, it seemed like wow, we can actually have 50 people at some place. Yeah, it's
right.
exciting that we can do that. And there's so many different options that you can come up with. I love the photo booth thing, and there's so many other options with that. They even have, and it's been around for a little bit now, where
Yeah,
it takes a picture of you in a group, or it could be just you, and you just punch in your email address or text me my photo, and right away you get it.
right. Right. And the one that took over is the 360,
Yeah,
where, you stay in the middle, you dance, and the camera is spinning around you. It makes you feel like a star.
I see it. And
So,
I've done that before. I've taken my phone and I've actually gone like this and turned my head and went around and shot a video, which it's kind of old school. Be nice to have something professionally done, but it's a cool look when you look at the background moving and you're right there. Is it now when you talk about that 360 concept, is that something that somebody is doing on the floor for you, with you, or it's kind of automatic?
yeah, I mean, you stand in the middle, and then they put music, you dance, you just stay still, you dance, you can, twirl around, and then someone has the remote, and they control the 360. They make it go one way, and then they make it go the other way. So someone has to control it with the remote. So that is something we would do when we coordinate events.
That's so much fun. Like you have all these, it's like you're the chef and you're cooking up an event, and you have all these ingredients in front of you. Ooh, which one am I going to pull out today? Oh, I think they would like this one. That seems to be their taste. So how about this one? You can suggest that. I know that you had said that couples are going in terms of weddings for more richer look with more gold and just a richer kind of feel. Any thoughts on that? Anything that we may not have talked about that is out there that you've done for couples or you can do?
Well, it looks like it's some of the some of the requests that can keeps coming back. I know we spoke about the acrylic. Acrylic has the look as diamond, so some couples will request that. There are couples who don't like gold tone, so they will go with the silver tone or the acrylic. So it really depends of the person's preference. Some just like vintage, some like to have the mixture, and some just like it just simple. So it really depends. Everybody have their own choices and is interested to cater in different taste.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
like.
Well, that's what
Mhm.
makes it fun because there's so much different variety that somebody can do. What about some of
Right.
the other things, the engagement parties? I know that you do those. Anything stand out that excuse me that we would want to do something a little special for an engagement? Oh, I'm sorry, retirement.
For retirement, I would say that just make it as a nice event. Every event should be cherished, whether it's retirement event, wedding, baby shower. Every event should be cherished. So if someone is having like a retirement event, I think, especially if the person was in the office a lot and doing his work, I can stay in one place. So office work is not for me. But if someone who was IT, let's say he done IT all his life, and then he's having a retirement event, I think it would be good to make it fun, like make it like a sport event or just something fun, so that he would not remember that to be in that calm environment.
Yeah.
So
And like you just said, if it's let's say we make it a sporting event, feel to it, if that's what somebody's into, right away we can go back to the floor wraps or the floor decals. There's so much. Think about if somebody's into football. I mean, they're just like hardcore. You could have their team. Okay. You could even do, like the 30-yard line, the 40-yard line, whatever it might be in a decal.
mhm.
It's just endless possibilities when it comes to stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yes, you can do anything. You can customize anything, and we thank God for the professional that really came up with the idea and make it happen.
So we're talking with Alice, who is with passioneventsdesign.com. And you're based out of the Maryland area, but you can go to other areas as well to plan parties. I'm going to change gears for just a second. My daughter just turned 14. And,
Oh,
and what do you think she started talking about?
oh, that's interesting because I have 14-year-olds in my house.
Oh,
I have twin girls. They're 14, and
wow.
so yeah, so you
So
know.
my daughter's not a twin, but I actually am.
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
that's interesting. That's
yeah.
interesting.
I have a twin sister, but the thing that my daughter, as soon as she turned 14, what came out of her mouth? 16. We're already thinking about the sweet 16 party. So why don't we talk about a few things there that can be done for a, how do you say it again? A kinsa.
Well, the quinceañera is
Thank you.
15, and that's for, Hispanic culture.
Right.
So everyone else, like us, we would say sweet 16. And 16 give us extra time. And for the Hispanic culture is 15. So it doesn't give them extra time
Yeah. I've
to
got I've got
to
I've got an extra year to work on this with you.
Exactly. So my daughters are 14, and they were talking about their 16th, sweet 16 since they were 13. I'm like, we still got time. We still got time. So
My daughter's even talking
yeah.
about driving a car. She's like, "Can I take a driving lesson?" I'm like, "All right, you can sit in the driver's seat. You know, we'll be in a parking lot." Um, but what about those Sweet 16s? Are there things that you've done that really stood out that you were proud of, or just a party that just worked out really well?
Sweet 16
Yeah.
or like some other regular events, but they are special because we can be 16 only once. And the young ladies start to realize that they're stepping up, and they have to become more responsible and thinking about life. So my daughter started to do that, and they even said, "Mom, can you hire us so we can start making money?" So there's always something I find them to do, and matter of the fact, sometimes they do the editing of my YouTube videos. So
Okay.
yeah, it's interesting. So Sweet 16, just make it memorable. It's only once, and please don't skip out of it. Don't because there's not another time that your child, your daughter will celebrate that again. So give her things that she would like. This is her event. She wants to have, if she wants to create her guest list, let her do that.
Hmm.
Have some of yours and let her create her guest list. Let her make the choices when it comes to the flavor for her cake. If she wants cake, if she wants cupcake, like there was a daughter and mother that was having a conflict because the mother wanted regular cake, the daughter just wanted cupcake. So I found it an easy way to say, okay, you can have your cupcake, and the cake will be for the grown-ups. So how about that? And she said,
Yeah.
okay. So I just, to find a simple way to tell them, to make them understand. And
Yep.
yeah,
I think the most important point of all of this is to involve your teen. Instead of just taking everything over and I'm going to do this, I'm going to set it up, let them be a part of it because that's what really makes it special.
yes, I do agree.
Well, if your daughters want to work, there could be a job installing floor wraps if they put them together and window frames too potentially. Yeah. So are you? How are things? Let's talk about your venue. I know that that's been in the works and we're like very close to it. What's the status of that?
Yeah, so it will be finalized the third week of May. And matter of the fact, I was with the chamber this morning before my trip, and we are going to have the ribbon cutting um, the third week of May, and we can't wait to launch it because we have customers, clients who are at the door. They want to book it.
Wow.
So we are very excited, and I can talk a little bit about the features of the space. It's a small space that can host up to 120 people, and we have a small kitchen that can be used as a kitchenette and then bar. There's two restrooms, ample parkings. It's near the highway. It's in a great location. So we are just excited because we can't wait. And behind that, behind the venue, I will have like a huge space where it will be a showroom, so that the things that you will want will be presented there, and it will be easy for you to choose what you want to include for your event, whether it's centerpieces, throne chairs, lux chairs, and all the charger place and everything that we have in our inventory.
I love that idea. So it's almost like a showroom. Somebody can walk in and say, "Oh, I like that centerpiece," or I really like those chairs as well," and they can kind of see it, actually see it before they make a decision. I love that. Good for you on that. Wow,
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
very exciting. We're just about out of time, but tell everybody your website if you could.
Our website is fashioneventsdesign.com, and it's easy to find us. It's very easy to find us. There's a contact page. You can put your information there. You can call us. There's button, easy to navigate. So give us a call, and we'll be happy to design your next event, or we can plan it the way you want. And we go in different states. We'll be in New York this week. So just to tell you that we can go wherever you are, and we can't wait to hear from you.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on the venue, which is just a few weeks away. And good luck on the rest of your trip there, Alice.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. Always a pleasure. And we'll talk again soon.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Beautiful. Okay. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you can now listen live on the MyTuner Radio and online Radio Box apps for iOS, Android, and the Amazon App Store. Or check us out online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on onlineradiobox.com/US so you don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.